The thing is, VHS 94 sucks, and it really does. I was actually waiting for that kind of stuff because I was waiting for VHS 94, and I've been looking up for it because I have seen the first, the second, and the third one. I do not know if there are any more parts of that series, but the thing is, VHS 94 sucks, and there are several reasons for that. For some reason, VHS 94 doesn't seem to just fit the whole narrative of VHS, and it doesn't seem to be like the one, because the main thing is that VHS 94 was created by different people, and all of them had different just vision of VHS 94, because you have different people. Some of them are like very political, they really are, and some of them aren't, and so the result that you get is that the people who are not political made a much better just segment of the movie than those who are political. So, the only good segments of the movie are, well, probably the subject and this is it. I don't like any else of them, and I will tell you why. I am not going to tell just generally about the movie, I'm going to tell about each segment and analyze it, because I just do not even know what to say. I was really disappointed by the thing that I have seen. So, let's start from the one and the most general part of the movie, which is the first segment and also the last one. It is the segment by Jennifer Reeder called Holy Hell. Holy hell, that thing sucked, and it really did, because I did not expect it to be that shitty. The main problem is that this particular narrative, which is just the general one, we have also seen that idea in the previous parts of VHS, when we have just one particular narrative, which will present not only itself, but will also include the presentation of the other narratives. And so this idea, which was used with the SWAT team, absolutely sucks, because for some reason it not only presents itself with the, let's just say, a very weird and stupid horror part of it, because I've just decided to look what Jennifer Reeder has made before that, and she hadn't made anything that was about horror. All the things that she made are about girls and girls having troubles in society, girls having problems in their life and how they cope with them. Yeah, hashtag girl power, yeah, that's all what this thing is about. And holy hell absolutely sucks, because this has to be the main narrative, the one which presents everything else. But the only thing that we see is that there is a SWAT team doing nothing but going everywhere inside of some kind of a compound, inside of some place which looks like just a TV station or something like that. And the thing is that there is nothing interesting in that. Even the special effects absolutely suck, because they look stupid, they don't fit the whole idea, they are just stupid by themselves, and I don't see any reasons to include the part with the eyes, for example. The ending of the segment absolutely sucks, and the thing that actually destroys the whole main part, the whole subject of Holy Hell, is the idea that there is always two women, and they always talk shit to one of the members of the team, who is Slater. Like, the thing is, all dialogues are literally Slater, shut the fuck up, Slater, don't touch anything, Slater, what a dumb fuck you are, Slater, you suck, and shit like that. That's the whole thing about just the dialogue in Holy Hell. There is no dialogue, there is no special element which makes it interesting, there is none of that. Holy Hell absolutely sucks, and the ending of Holy Hell is even worse than you can imagine, because the ending of the Holy Hell is just literally, hey, you see, there is a very interesting twist. We are those who make snuff movies, and you are going to be the victim. And the victim is Slater. He is the one who is being killed on camera. And why? Why was that even presented? There is no horror, there is nothing interesting, it absolutely sucks, it doesn't deal the whole idea of representing another narratives, it just doesn't have that. Why Holy Hell is even included, and why has anyone even decided that Holy Hell has to be the main part of the narrative, that this is the one that has to represent everything else? It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any. That's the whole point that I have, is just that the movie will even be worse just because of the fact that we have the main narrative which absolutely sucks, which doesn't make any sense. And so this is only one part. The general narrative doesn't have to be that. The general just segment has to be this way. There is someone doing something. They find a lot of tapes, VHS tapes, of course, because this is a VHS. And so they decide to look at them. And so they put the VHS tape inside of a VHS player and look at tapes. And so this is just the way of how tapes are being presented to you. This is just the way you see them. The whole movie is an anthology, a horror anthology, and quite a good one. I personally like the whole idea behind VHS, because having a horror movie which represents the idea of anthology, and not only anthology, but a found footage anthology, this is the thing that has to be not only creative, but also really interesting one, because you have to just have the people who will make something that is not the same, something that is interesting to watch, and it fits the narrative of found footage. So, the next thing that we have right after Holy Hell, the first one which is being presented after the beginning of Holy Hell, is Storm Drain. It's Storm Drain. Storm Drain was made by Chloe Okuno, and we don't know any other movies by Chloe Okuno except for the movie which is called Slut. Yeah, a great beginning, a very good one. The same thing that we have with Jennifer Reeder, when we have no horrors, but we have drama. Okay, if it has to be like that, then it has to be like that. So, Storm Drain is a fine one. Storm Drain is not a bad segment of the movie, but also not like a really good one. So, the Storm Drain has a very interesting presentation, because Storm Drain is literally a whole just recording of the report from the people working at a literal TV station. We have a news channel, News 6 or something like that, and people there make news, of course. One of the things that we see is just the footage of Ratman. There is a legend, an urban legend about the creature which lives inside of the sewers, which is called Ratman. And so, the TV presenters decide to go right there. Journalists just take all their equipment and go to the sewers. They interview the people who live in this particular area, and so they decide to go right into the sewers because they have seen something inside of them. So they go deeper and deeper inside of the sewers, and they see people. Okay, that part is an interesting one. Right after that, it turns out that in fact those people are a part of cult, and not just a simple cult, but cult of Ratman, a half human, half rat, with a very interesting ability to spit acid. Yeah, the funniest thing is that Ratman is also a real urban legend, but not from the real life, but from GTA 4. Yes, this is an urban legend from Grand Theft Auto 4. So probably this idea is not like, let's just say, ultra original. Okay, so what is the ending? The ending of Storm Drain is an interesting one. The main character of Storm Drain, the TV journalist, in fact, comes back right to the studio and presents the news. But each third or second word of her presentation of the news is literally Ratman. And right after that, she vomits right into the face of another reporter, and he tears his face. If I was just to give some kind of mark to Storm Drain, it would probably be like 5. Because Storm Drain is like a really solid medium. It's a solid medium. Holy hell is like 2 out of 10. It's bullshit. I don't like it. It's all the things that I say are subjective. Just this is my subjective point of view. It's not objective, it's just the way I see it as the one who likes the concept of VHS and the one who also likes found footage horror and horror anthologies. Right after Storm Drain comes The Empty Wake. So, the idea of The Empty Wake is a really good one. I really like just the presentation of The Empty Wake. But the thing is that The Empty Wake doesn't have to be the segment which is like 20 minutes long. I think that The Empty Wake is just too long. It had to be like 5 or 10 minutes long and no more. Because the whole idea of The Empty Wake is very simple. It is a very simple idea because you have only one particular location in which all the things happen, and so what you have is a coffin with a dead body inside of it. It is a funeral home, and there is not only this dead body inside of a coffin, and there is also a girl who has a graveyard shift. And this graveyard shift is right inside of the funeral home. She has to make a recording of her sitting right in this place, right just next to the body, to the coffin, and playing the music. This is it. This is the whole premise and the whole idea behind it. But the thing is that the body is in fact alive. This is a very simple idea because when you have this, the only thing that you can think of is just, there is one location. It is a funeral home. There is only nothing except for a lot of chairs, coffin, a body inside of a coffin, and a girl. So what may happen? It is very simple because you just understand that, yeah, the body will wake up. And this is literally the thing that happens. If it was a 5 or 10 minute segment, it would be fine. But not when it's like 20 minutes long, because it just literally makes more and more and more of itself by just making some situations which are intended to be something unusual, like, oh, the lights are out, what will happen? Like right after that, oh, someone comes inside of the funeral home right in the night, what may happen? Then she just calls her friend, and her friends tell her everything that she needs to know about the person who died. The main problem of The Empty Wake is that the idea is very simple and that it's too long. You will just understand the concept right from the beginning, it will not be that unusual to you. The Empty Wake is fine, it's also a solid 5, but if it was shorter it would be like 6, probably 6 out of 10. So, what comes right after The Empty Wake? Yeah, baby! It's the Veggie Masher. No, it's not a joke, it's one of the segments of the movie. It's the Veggie Masher by Steven Kostansky. It's a great one. I absolutely love the Veggie Masher because the Veggie Masher is an infomercial parody and it's absolutely funny. It's hilarious because the product which is being presented to you is a thing that literally mashes all the stuff that you have to mash, like fruits and vegetables, just stuff like that. It's absolutely funny, it's hilarious. I recommend you to watch the Veggie Masher even though it's like 1 minute long or even less. So, the Veggie Masher is fine, it's a very funny but short segment, which is not even horror. I don't see any reason to put it inside of the movie, but right after the Veggie Masher goes the subject. And I think that the subject by Timo Chajanto, I'm sorry for mispronouncing the name because I just don't really know how do I pronounce it correctly. So, the subject by Timo Chajanto, I will call him that. The subject is a great one because it literally starts with the element of shock. It includes a lot of different elements that make the subject very interesting. First, it's the idea behind the subject. The idea is that we have an absolutely mad and absolutely insane doctor who works with prosthetics, and so he decides to combine people with metal. So, What can go wrong here? The thing that can go wrong here is that he is absolutely insane, so he will make something with the people. And so he will kidnap the people and combine them with metal. The next element which makes the subject interesting is that it's a first-person segment. The third one is that it's not only horror, but it's also action. It literally starts with a very shocking moment, because the thing that we see is the head. The head wakes up and we see that it is right in some kind of a mechanism, and it falls apart. Then we see a doctor. He presents us his own idea. All the recordings are from him. He's the one who made them, and we see that he is absolutely insane, and that he really likes the idea of combining people with some kind of mechanisms. And not just simple mechanisms, but we will later see that those are combat mechanisms. Our main character here is not in fact the doctor, but it's a girl who is his subject. All the segment is in Indonesian, so we have the subtitles, which makes it even more interesting, because it has this just national tastes in it, which is very interesting, because it's not the typical Asian representation that you see. It's not Japanese, it's not Chinese, it's not Korean, it's Indonesian, the one which we don't see, let's just say, all the time. So our girl wakes up. She's not human anymore. She is not human at all. She is the combination of both metal and flesh. Then she is watching the news. And right in the news, we see her face, we see just who she is, and we see that idea that, well, the people are missing, and there is only one person who can be behind it, and it is our maid and absolutely fucked up doctor. He's the only one. He thinks that everyone else is just a fool who does not understand him, who does not see the whole idea, the whole talent of his, the great combination of metal and flesh. And so, right after that, there is an assault, a SWAT assault. So SWAT comes right inside of the building, and they kill the doctor. But they also decide to kill all the subjects of his. And the subjects look absolutely abominable. Those are the things that don't make any sense. They look absolutely abominable, but in a really good way. Even our main character, she looks, let's just say, really well. Really good for the whole idea of her being not human, but a walking camera. Right after the moment of the SWAT assault, the action moment kicks in. It literally just kicks right into the segment, and the segment is not a horror anymore. It becomes an action, a full-on action, which is the next like 20 or 10 minutes. If I was to give a particular mark to the subject, it would be like 7. It would probably be like 7 if you've got something to look at for like 20-30 minutes. Look at the subject. It is a really good one. I do personally recommend it, and it's fine. Just look at it. It's a really good one. I just had decided to give you the general idea of the subject just because check it out. Look at the subject. It's a really good one. It's the one which is not political, the one which is a good one, the one which combines a lot of interesting elements, so check it out. The last one, and the only one remaining, is Terror by Ryan Proust. How do I say it? It's hateful towards rednecks, it's hateful, it's just hateful towards man. Like, the whole idea behind Terror is that, yeah, we have a whole bunch of different rednecks who don't like black people. Yeah, they hate them all, they want to kill them all. Just, this is literally the whole idea of Terror. It's not a joke. The whole idea behind Terror is the racism of rednecks. Yeah, this is it. There is nothing else inside of Terror, and it's absolutely chaotic, it's absolutely abstract in a bad way, because the whole thing that we see in Terror is a group of people going inside of a basement. Inside of a basement, there is a man. They kill him. And we will see his killing like 3 or 4 more times. Why? Why is it so? Why do they kill the same guy? It's literally the same person who is being killed over and over and over. I do not understand that particular moment of the movie, but we see them thinking about, let's just say, a very bad act of violence which will happen in Detroit. They are all Christian. They really like the idea of Jesus. They are all praying. They all like guns and like Jesus. Like, yeah, that's a really good representation of redneck, because they all like Jesus. They are praying while holding a gun. Yeah, this is literally it. This is literally the only thing that we know about rednecks. And so then we see police helping rednecks. They help by giving them arms, by giving them a lot of different weapons. The next thing that we know is that police comes right to the rednecks and he says like, yeah, you know, there is only one policeman. So he says that, you know, we like your idea, we like the things that you do, we even have the people in the Congress who are right with you, we do like the things that you do, because yeah, all cops are bastards, all cops are bad, very bad people, no, very, very bad people who are also just like rednecks, who are also like really, really bad. So it's bullshit. It doesn't make any sense, and it's absolutely chaotic. And the chaotic shit that is inside of this segment comes right after the moment when we see that, well, they get their weapons and so decide to test one. They decide to test the weapon, which is like some kind of a chemical explosive component which works like that. It's injected inside of an organism. In this case, it is injected inside of a bunny. And so the bunny explodes. It explodes right when the sun goes up. The sun rises, the bunny blows up. They are having a party because, well, you see, the weapon is working fine. It's absolutely great. We see the party, we see some of the moments from it, we see it happening. The next thing is the morning. And right in the morning, they hear something that is shouting, that is making noises inside in the basement. It's a monster. It's a monster who is alive, who comes right after them. And then the absolute bullshit and chaos begins. I will just tell you what happens right after that. There is a monster inside of a basement, so they decide to use a chain gun. They use a chain gun, but the fuckhead who has to use the chain gun kills like 2 or 3 people of his own team. Great choice. Then the chain gunner is killed. Then they go inside of a basement. There are only 2 people remaining, because the one who comes out of the basement, who is Steve, he blows up. He explodes. He explodes, and so they go inside of the basement. Inside of the basement there is a monster. The monster kills one of the members of the group, and so there is only Captain remaining. Captain goes to the part with a lot of crosses, so he starts praying. The monster comes right next to him, and everything explodes. This is the end. It fucking sucks, it doesn't make any sense, and I absolutely hate it. Terror is even, like, it's not worse than Holy Hell. It's a little bit better than Holy Hell, a little bit, but it's absolutely bad. It's also 2 out of 10 because it is chaotic. The ideas are absolutely political. It's not a horror, it's a bullshit. It's an absolutely political part of the movie, which is like, yeah, my political elements and my political views are great, and I'm going to present them by making you see that everyone who is not like me is the one who is a person who is full of shit. And this is literally the whole idea of Terror. That was the most subjective the most, let's just say, subjective view of VHS 94. Each part that was right before VHS 94 will be much better than VHS 94. This is it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your attention. Have a good day. Have a good time. Go check the other parts of VHS, but definitely not the 94. Have a good day. If you have another point of view, just say it. Say it in the comments. Say what you think is wrong. Say all the stuff you want, because I'm really interested in your own idea, because I haven't seen like any videos that said that, yeah, you know, VHS 94 sucks. I've only seen that it's a good movie.